Finally, Kent Hughes broke the seal as a massive trade has gone down, moving Jake Allen to the New Jersey Devils for a return that, well, honestly, we are more than impressed with. We have to dive into this, plus what it means for the rest of the trade deadline and even Montreal's plans heading into the offseason. You want to stick around for all of this as we break it down on this episode of Habs Digest. But before we do, once again, we are proud to announce this video is sponsored by Rentals.ca. Guys, moves are coming, and guess what? They happened. Kent Hughes has finally made a big move, clearing up the goalie situation. And hey, if you feel like you need some more excitement in your life like the Montreal Canadiens, well then, it's time to move. And Rentals.ca has you covered. They are Canada's largest apartment hunting network. You can get houses, apartments, condos, whatever you want.
From coast to coast, Rentals.ca has you covered. As you see, they have every major city in Canada covered. You're able just to use their maps that are really clean and easy to use. And not only that, you're able to then find neighborhoods now within the city of your choice and find great listings right there.
It is perfect. I'm sure Rentals.ca is quite happy with this trade, just like we are, since they're big Habs fans. And if it's time to move for you, time to find a new place, check out the link in the description or the pinned comment. Rentals.ca has you covered. Jesse, we're just going to jump straight into this. Jake Allen, pending the trade call, well, I believe, pending the trade call, as Pierre LeBrun says. This is official now. Jake Allen has been sent to the New Jersey Devils, and the return is a conditional third-round pick that could become a second, depending on how many games Jake Allen plays. With this, though, Montreal, of course, is retaining 50% of the $3.85 million cap hit for this season and next, Jesse. And hey, it doesn't just end there. Rumors have been circulating that David Savard was on the table, though I gotta think that he is coming off the table right now. The biggest F-bomb you could imagine for the Montreal Canadiens this trade deadline. And hey, Kent has been cooking.
Someone cooked here.
And it's Kent. Jesse, what is your first reaction on this Jake Allen trade? Is this the return you wanted? Is it less than you wanted? Because for me, I'm honestly ecstatic.
Kent Hughes is a bad man. If he can get a second round pick out of that, that would absolutely be amazing. Like, to be honest, I feel like it was more of a necessity just to really get Samuel Montembeault some more starts. He's been playing great of late. Cayden Primeau as well, but also to do right, by Jake Allen. And again, a big thank you to Jake Allen for many years of playing some really solid hockey, especially at the beginning of this year, really keeping us in a lot of games. Like, he's absolutely worth this, a lot of Habs fans would have been happy with the fourth, but I think for what Jake Allen has done as being a former, Stanley Cup winner, I think that we deserve at least a third round, but the fact that maybe a second could come in the picture, because you have to feel like Jake Allen, there's a good chance he could be playing a lot of games down the stretch for New Jersey here. So really interested to see, and I'm just happy that, it's kind of freeing some things up for kind of that next wave, that next generation now.
Yeah, and as of the recording of this video, we're not sure how many games need to be played for that third to turn into a second, but regardless, as we've mentioned multiple times, even just a few days ago, we were talking about Jake Allen to the New Jersey Devils being a possibility. That was our most recent talk on him, and hey, it came true because the Devils don't have a single goaltender with above a 900 save percentage, and some of their advanced metrics, well, they're some of the worst in the league, and while, Vanacek has really taken a step back, you got Schmid, you got Nico Dawes, they're just not quite there, and Jake Allen brings that veteran presence, that stability. The thing with Jake Allen, though, over the course of his career, I'll bring up some of his stats here now, he has never been that amazing when he is forced into that number one role. That 1B kind of guy is when he's at his best. We saw it when he was there with Carey Price in his last few years in St. Louis. Look at that, 24 games, 927 save percentage, and while his numbers the last year or two for Montreal and a very poor defensive team have not been amazing, hey, New Jersey's defense is not that much better, but you got to think a change of scenery for a New Jersey team that has fairly high expectations. Like, I feel like this season and into next season, Jake Allen is going to be able to really contribute to them, and I feel like that stability from a Stanley Cup winner, a veteran, is going to go such a long way for them. I really like the fit.
Absolutely, but you still have to wonder who's going to be kind of their 1A into the future, because as you mentioned, Jake Allen really thrives, can be really, really good in that 1B situation. For the better part of last year, he was our standing, first starting goalie, right? But then as Montembeault really took that leap again with the contract extension, playing so well from there, the writing's really on the wall. And the fact that Cayden Primeau's playing so well, probably helping force along this trade as well, right? So you have to feel like New Jersey's not quite done because they have such a good team. They just really need to figure out a little bit of the goaltending, a little bit of that two-way defensive game there. But what I'm so happy about, Kent Hughes not only making a good trade, but doing right by the player, not pulling a Conroy, not to throw shade, but kind of like oh no, you're traded, and then you're not like Come on, that's awkward for everybody
Oy.
involved. Imagine going back in the locker room, waving your no trade clause like that, right? So again, Kent Hughes doing a tidy piece of work here. And we did call, right? I know a lot of reporters were kind of saying, oh, it's more likely now in the offseason this happens. But we felt Kent Hughes was wanting to get this done, right? He was okay waiting, but this has really been a priority for him all year long. But he was just waiting to get the best return that really surfaced now, and he snatched it.
The asking price was met, and that was one thing that, a lot of people were saying about Kent Hughes. And I'm sure the Devils, they were desperate for a goalie. Of course, like you said, they were linked to Markstrom, and well, you gotta think, for the price they paid for Allen, what were they ready to offer for Jacob Markstrom? You never really know. But Jake Allen, again, a $1.9 million cap hit for him, honestly, for this year and next year. I think New Jersey, well, it's going to service them very well. So again, shout out to Jake Allen for everything he did for this Montreal Canadiens team. He has been nothing but the pinnacle of class, the pinnacle of doing his job in the best way possible. Habs fans have loved him. It's really sad to see him go, but at the same time, Jesse, let's transition. What does this mean for the Habs going forward? Well, first of all, at the deadline, I think this means it's all but a certainty that Savard's not getting moved, and you might be watching this well after the deadline's over. You might know that, or maybe this part of the video is wrong, whatever. We'll talk about Savard maybe in another video later, but what I wanted to talk about now is how this affects Monty and Primeau. And I think Primeau is the biggest winner out of this trade. Yes, Montreal gets a third, maybe a second round pick, but Cayden Primeau gets way more reps now. We finally get to get him the reps that he has deserved based on his performance this season. I'm really excited to see what he can bring, to see if those NHL reps, working with the coaches and finally getting into more games can really help him even get to that very solid 1B or even solid backup level.
He deserves it, but you have to feel to give him the proper chance, he really needs to play games. And you have to feel the more that you're playing games, the more you're getting into that rhythm, the better your play is really going to be as a result, right? So I think it's all about, doing right to Cayden Primeau as well, who was a very highly sought after prospect for this team for so long, had an amazing college career, kind of took a dip, but at the NHL level has played very well while having a very irregular schedule, right? So you have to feel just that more time. And even for Samuel Montembeault, who's played really well, but again, goaltending is one of those positions where you need to be getting your reps. You need to be playing often. And even though you can do the substitutes and you get the training with the shooting coaches, the goaltending coaches, shooting with guys out in practice, it's not the same as being in game, being able to travel with the team all the time. It also frees up another roster spot for the Montreal Canadiens, right? So it does have lots of implications. And I think all of them are really good for everybody all around. Jake Allen's really done a service, to this team, and we're definitely wishing him all the best.
For sure. I mean, his body of work speaks for itself, and hey, the New Jersey Devils were willing to pay that price. Honestly, Jesse, I'm willing to call this a steal at this point. As much as I love Jake, hate to see him go, I don't think you could have possibly done any better based on the circumstances you were given. Shout out to Kent Hughes, shout out to the Habs, and most importantly, shout out to Jake Allen. What an amazing deal on deadline day. There will be more videos to come other than this one. I'm sure you'll see him linked to the side, but for now, we'll call it there for this episode of Habs Digest. And if you enjoyed and you want to stay up to date on all the latest Habs news, rumors, reports, even heading into the rest of the season and the offseason, this is your spot to be. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.